Trent Alexander-Arnold. Again, it was one of those things we spent a lot of time in cars last week. And Keogh, as they were coming out, he'd go, "Oh, there's another quote," and he'd read yet another Trent quote. ITV, I think in particular, were desperate to get something out of him.
Can I just say then, next time we do like a 5-hour drive somewhere, can you take Dan? Because all I had was, where's T-Bay services? I mean, I'm due to eat now. Where's the next service station?
Any regrets? Because T-Bay was wonderful.
T-Bay was boss. The pheasant that I bought was fantastic.
Did you have that?
Pheasant stuff with venison and cranberry at a service station. Why not? Like,
wow,
it's a resort, mate. It's not a service station.
Honestly, I've converted. I haven't done a couple of those farm shop service stations on the way back. Anyway, we digress.
We did Cairn Lodge and T-Bay.
Yep, did them on the way back.
What a day.
Yeah, I had a steak and ale pie, mash and peas and gravy on the way home. That fixed me and then equally broke me because I wanted to have a big hibernate.
Pie as well, yeah.
I don't like it because if I'm on a service station, I want to be...
They don't have cereal.
I want to be dramatically overcharged for inadequate food. That's what let's say.
Well, it's the British way.
Yeah, I want to pay £6.50 for a bag of Haribo, and I'll enjoy it every second. Yeah.
It's the only time where you can legitimately, definitely have like a Mackey's, when you're allowed, because it's a services. Because what else? What the fuck else are you going to eat when you're in a McDonald's? Yeah, fair. But no, anyway, we do digress. Asked by ITV Sport before the game against Greece whether it was a pivotal time in his career, Trent said, "I've entered the prime of my career right now, and I don't want to be the player who only won trophies when he was young." There was a conversation I had when we were travelling to Ireland on the coach down to the airport with Eze. I said, "There's a chance that I may never win another trophy in my career, and there's a chance I win many, many more. You'll only know the morning after you retire, and you look yourself in the mirror and you have the feeling of either regret or satisfaction with what you've achieved. But I don't think you can value that at just trophies or medals, goals and assists. It's more that you maximise the potential that everyone told me from a young age that I had. Then I'll be more than satisfied."
What did Eze say to all that? Doesn't sound like a conversation.
I know, it sounds like but Shirley, can I just sit you down a second? And he's like, "Fucking hell, Trent, I'm just watching a film." You know what I mean? Like,
I'm older than you. Like, why you give me words of wisdom, Trent?
Yeah, but this is funny because no one's ever stopped to consider this might be his way of, a very arrogant way of telling Eze, "You should probably go and sign for a club where you can win some trophies, mate, because you're not going to do it at Crystal Palace." The first one I saw was the one, it was really that opening one. It was, "I don't want to be a player who only won trophies when he was young." And I think
it was very early in the interview as well. Did you watch it?
I didn't. I saw
it. Was on that page. And it was like seconds in. Like, that was like, you know, a peek behind the curtain. Like, when you've got something to do in the show, you do it early because you'll forget.
Yeah.
And it felt a bit like Trent had that line in his head before he got on, and he asked the question, and he sort of like almost shoehorned it in, and I was like, "Oh, hello. That's a bit early for that type of an answer there, mate."
Because that's the one where you put a full stop at the end of that, and you go, "Ooh, how do I want to interpret that?" And I think there's multiple ways, but the strongest two are, he might look at that and go, Real Madrid. It's a soft serve, underarm bowl of, well, I could go to Real Madrid now and I could go and win probably like 4 or 5 La Liga titles, probably a handful of Champions Leagues, and then that, and there's that. It could also be, Dan, him saying he's being a bit standoffish with Liverpool because he wants to know that Liverpool are a club who can continue to offer that to him. Because I think I said this for weeks. It's a tough situation for Trent. I mean, it's not by comparison to normal humanity, but for someone with that much talent, he has got an important decision to make. This is not Gerrard when he hadn't won the Premier League, so there's that always thing of like, oh, I can go again and I might be able to deliver the one that I always want. Trent's won everything now. But if City continue to be Manchester City, he will look back on it now and go, he might win one more Premier League, and he might get another Champions League. His trophy haul's not going to be the same if City continue to be the dominant force in this league, as his will be if he moves to someone like Real Madrid.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's made no secret of his desire to win trophies, and I think I certainly hope that it's the case. It's the latter of the two options that you just said there, that he was just waiting to see what Liverpool under Arne Slot looked like and sort of what the aspirations were of the club and the board when it comes to sort of money to be spent and how to improve the squad and all that sort of stuff. And that's sensible, that's smart from Trent. He is a generational talent. He's one of the best footballers in the world, certainly within that conversation. So he is destined to win more trophies, but he needs to be at a place where they can provide that. And Liverpool, we all hope that is the case, and it looks as though the early signs are that we will be certainly in and around it. So I like to think that everything is set up at Liverpool Football Club for someone of his ability to be a prominent part of us being very successful. But you're right, you can't overlook the fact that at Real Madrid, it's a given that they win the Liga, sort of 1-2 sort of thing. They're not top of it at the time of recording, actually, it's Barcelona, but they're going to win some silverware. You know what I mean? That's just a given. But I still hope that all of the factors surrounding Trent Alexander-Arnold and Liverpool Football Club can come together, and the fact that we do look like we'll be at least competitive for trophies in the few seasons that are following will combine and mean that he stays for the long haul. Because again, I've said it millions of times, like, he is heir apparent to the throne of the captaincy. He's Mr. Liverpool. He's come through the ranks, and again, it's sort of a well-trodden path of a line now, but winning those handful of trophies at Liverpool should mean more than going to somewhere else and just winning an absolute truckful.
Yeah. The thing for me is something you just said then, Dan, it's being competitive. It's not a guarantee of winning trophies. No player can have a guarantee of winning trophies. Ask Harry Kane. He went to get a guaranteed league title last season and managed to walk away without one.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But you've just got to be competitive. And if Liverpool can stay competitive, even for the next 2 or 3 years, and they don't actually win one, all you can promise them is that you're going to be competitive. You're going to need the players to step up and get over the line and things to go your way. And, maybe Guardiola to leave the Premier League would be nice, or something else to happen in a courtroom that might make it a little bit easier for other sides. So it's going to be, it's probably tearing him apart, isn't it, inside out at the moment, because we know he wants to win trophies at Liverpool. We know from what he's done for the last, 7-8 years, how much effort he's put in. Go back even further to when he first signed for the club. He's always wanted to win trophies at Liverpool. He's wanted to be Liverpool captain. He also will want to be remunerated properly as well. And he'll want Liverpool to be competitive to win trophies. So hopefully it comes down to that. It's not a guarantee that you'll win trophies, but if Liverpool stay competitive, hopefully shines.
There's a comment here from Yudi here who says, how can a club guarantee trophies? The only clubs in Europe that can feasibly match his wages and trophies demand is PSG, Madrid and Bayern. And as Chris said, the Bayern thing we've just seen, it's not actually not guaranteed at Bayern.
I agree with the comment from you. The problem is the middle one there won him. So they won him. Madrid won him. We know that. I think it's more because he kind of contradicts himself, because he goes on like, I want to win more trophies, and then later on it's like, trophies aren't that important. It's kind of a mismatch of what he's saying. For me, it just looks like he probably wants to go to Liverpool, wants to stay at Liverpool rather, but he just wants loads of money. It's like, that's the vibe I'm getting. Yeah. And then the decision's got to be made, how much do you pay him, and what's he worth, how much do you give your right back, is your right back your best player, and if he is, do you pay your right back 350 grand a week? I've said this a few times, that's hard, especially when you've got your centre back and your winger who are both on contracts as well. It's a very messy situation. It's not, and if you're Alexander-Arnold, you're going to walk into somewhere, you're going to be the best, you're going to play every game, and you're going to get well paid. So he's got loads of options on the table. I just don't think he has, though. That's the thing. But this is my point. I think he's got 2 options, really. You say that, but like, who the fuck wants to play for Bayern? I mean, like, sorry, with respect, who the fuck wants to play for Bayern Munich?
I think Bayern Munich could be a lot. I think there'd be an attraction.
PSG, Munich, where you go after
Barcelona.
You do Bayern Munich, yeah, maybe Barcelona, exactly.
Man City.
But again, that's not that isn't really.
I see your point. I see your point. But listen, it's Real Madrid and Liverpool. They've 2 very, very good options for him. So I saw it more along the line of him. I read that actually as more positive for Liverpool. I don't know how you. I read that as. I'm not going to judge it rather on the amount of trophies I win, because Chris is right. If you stay in England and stay with Liverpool, you're probably not going to win as many trophies as if you go to Real Madrid. But him saying that he wants to win, but it's not at the end of the career just a counting exercise. I took that as a positive. Yeah. But it's. I'm at the point now where I'm thinking it must be financial. It's just got to be a case of, because Liverpool won him. By all accounts, he wants to stay at Liverpool. Unless Real Madrid are offering him the world as well, it must just be the trying to sort the money out, because everyone keeps saying, no, just give him what he wants, give him whatever he wants. That's just nonsense. You can't just give someone whatever they want. Because if Alexander-Arnold wants $500,000 a week, then Mo Salah wants $500,000 a week, and Van Dijk wants $500,000 a week.
You're looking at £1 million between the 3 of them a week.
Do you think?
Aren't you?
Divvy up.
Yeah. And that's fine. But like, I agree with you, Steve. And I've struggled internally with this conversation over the last sort of couple of weeks. Is like, what he's asking for is essentially centre forward money.
Yes.
Right. And what he's going to give you is about 15 goals a season in assists and maybe 5 goals.
Yeah.
But you're asking for centre forward money.
I have no issue with any of this, by the way.
No, that's fine. And I don't either. But I think our ownership might.
Like,
and also, when it boils down to it,
I get
when
that.
you're looking at $1 million for Van Dijk and Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold, that's where I think, oh God, I wish we had someone who would just go, I don't care about the money, give the man his contract, but we don't live in that world.
At the risk of being this guy once again, which seems to be the role I've set out, is not to swing into Fenway Sports Group's defence more than just to point out that we do this and we go, Liverpool's ownership. There aren't many clubs in the world that would pay $250,000 to $300,000 a week for a fullback. I mean, currently, I had a quick look at it there. Danny Carvajal's on about 200,000 euros a week. So it's about the same as what Trent's on currently. Carvajal's been there, similar thing. He's been there for years and he's worked his way up to that. And so to the point is, Real Madrid might be the kind of club that will pay Trent that if they're still doing this Galacticos thing and they want to carry on with it, they might be prepared to go a little bit higher and pay him closer to what he's worth. But again, there aren't many football clubs who would do that.
I think it's an interesting test case for that reason because it's one of those like setting the market type things. This is completely new. This is a free agent who's a fullback, and usually you'd say, excuse me, oh yeah, you just replace your fullback. It's probably the position that you're most comfortable going. You'll find a right back, and you'll crack on.
But you'll never find another Trent, will you?
That's why it's such a difficult conversation because I don't believe your right back should be your best paid player. It makes no sense economically. It makes no sense football wise. Your best paid players are your centre back, your centre midfield, and your strikers. That's usually how it goes because they're the most important. Most teams the fullback isn't the most important. And Trent probably is one of, if not the most. It's a very difficult one. You can't just go elsewhere and go, well, they're paying him this, so we'll pay you comparatively. There's no one like him. He's such a unique thing. And if you're him, you're going, yeah, but I'm Danny Carvajal, good right back. He's fantastic, won Everton, what a player. He's a bit older than me. And by the way, can he do this ping free kick? Can he do this ping goal? He's I don't know how you put a value on Trent's head. It's got to be higher, I understand it. I just don't know what the number is. Is he worth more than what Mo Salah's getting offered? Maybe because of his age, but it's such a difficult conversation. I'm with you. I want to stay. If Liverpool go paying whatever they want, sound like Trent Alexander-Arnold here for 5 more years, fantastic. It's just I don't think enough people have been taught. He's a right back.
No, I agree.
The economics of it are just strange.
I agree with that thing of, you're right, if you've got your top positions, and where this is a legacy of the Klopp era as well, that our best players shouldn't really be a centre half, a right back and a right winger. They should be probably like a centre midfielder, and a centre forward should be in that mix, certainly. But we came about football in a different way, where the fullbacks and the wide forwards were the stars of the football team. All the assists came from the fullbacks, and all the goals came from the wingers. Yeah. And now we're sort of starting to understand what the manager wants. And there is just that weird situation where Slot might just be looking at, and Salah's in this same boat. He might go, I'd rather have another Luis Diaz on the right, and I'd rather have a Conor Bradley at right back, because loads of other managers have got this thing. Man City have not been worse for not having an absolute superstar right back. Kyle Walker's very, very good, and he has been a very, very good right back. But Reece James could have done that job for him. Exactly. He might. You make it work.
But that's it, isn't it? That's the way it seems to be going.
Yeah, I honestly. Making the highest earner at the football club.
Okay.
As simple as that. I don't care what position he plays. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't give a shit.
I respect that.
He's so much more than right back. And it's not just on the pitch. The on the pitch thing is clearly of the utmost importance, but it's who he is as a footballer, who he is as a person. He's come through the ranks again, and not to get all romantic and emotional about but he should be captain of this football club. That has to be a factor. And you can benchmark it in a way whereby say, well, what if XYZ play comes along and goes, well, look what Trent's on, I want to match that. You just say, I appreciate that, mate, but he's been here 15 years. He's now the captain. Come on. I would honestly move heaven and earth just to keep him, and then you deal with the others after. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Also, you can't talk about Trent without talking about what a shit show Liverpool have had in all of this. Potentially leaving him to walk. He could walk out for free, which is the biggest own goal ever.
We're talking about how brilliant he is, and that could happen.
It's fucking shit.
It's mad, and I think it was poorly handled, and then unfortunately Jürgen leaving threw a spanner in the works.
I just wouldn't have told him, sign this lad.
Yeah.
It should have been dealt with a long time. And we had this conversation.
Whose job was that?
Yeah,
That's the problem. That's my biggest
Can I
issue with it. Schmadtke.
Who do we think? Like, I was looking before, right back. I think Reece James might be the highest paid right back in the world, $250,000.
He's at Chelsea anyway.
That was a given, that really, wasn't it?
I think Ben Chilwell's on good money actually.
And his doctor's paid more, which is massive.
Yeah. It's like, that's the going rate at the moment, is 250, and Trent's well better than Reece James. So Alexander-Arnold's got to have every right to walk in and go, he's on 250, get on me compared to him. I want 300, 350, whatever.
The analytical side of things is that Liverpool will have a valuation of, they think what's it's worth paying particular positions on the pitch, because how much more you can get in return. I remember saying this when Arsenal paid 100 million for Declan Rice, and when Chelsea were paying 100 million for Caicedo. That was the going rate, but in reality, your defensive midfielder can't really add 100 million of value to your football team. Like Rodri, by the way, wildly proves this wrong, but there's an exception to sort of everyone. What you were saying, it's centre forward money. That's it's best player money, that, and that's why it's an awkward situation. Now you're right; it should be a no-brainer, because right now we're in the two responses here are, you sign him up to as your highest wage earner, and you let him be the best player, one of the best players on the planet for your football team, or you let him go for free. And in reality, what Liverpool probably want is another 2 years of him on similar, slightly improved wages. Maybe like if he's on 180 grand a week now, put him on 220. You know what I mean? Something like that.
I was going to say the problem.
He ain't doing that.
I think he's on that as well. The issue you've got, and I keep going back to it, and it's a tough one, is that it's the positional value thing that you kind of put down to it, is that you can't judge him against any other. He's just so unique, and that's why if you're his agent, and Liverpool find themselves in this position now, like Chris said, it's ludicrous that we're here, but like, he holds all the cards because he's out of contract. Everything he says, like what you say, he is the player and the man and the scout and the story. It's all a big thing, and most importantly, he's got Real Madrid who won.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key. Is that in other contract situations, when Mo Salah was going for his contract issues a couple of years ago, I remember us having a like, where's he going to go? Yeah. Like, we were thinking maybe but PSG at the time was being linked. It was like, there aren't too many massive options. I think we were all worried, that he was going to go to Chelsea or City. With Trent, I mean, Chelsea signed everyone, so we could, but that's the thing. He has got the team who want him.
Yeah, so he's got the team, and he's of the age as well. They're looking for a right back.
Yeah.
He's 20. He's just turned 26 this week, hasn't he? Trent Alexander-Arnold. They're not going to be paying a transfer fee, so the wages can be higher just because of that. Whereas for Liverpool, it doesn't work like that. You don't get that. Oh God, we can pay him more because we're not paying a transfer fee. This is a lad that we've got that probably is going to earn 100 grand more a week than he did previously.
I'm looking at comments.
Real Madrid could just go, well, we value him at 150 million quid. Let's add that 150 million into his contract, and then pay him
big sign on fee.
Big sign on fee.
You know what I mean? It could be as simple as it is.
Yeah.
And that must be so difficult for Trent, and this goes back to why it must be tearing him up. Because he's got one thing where he probably has that loyalty where he wants to stay with us, and another where he's going, I'm getting what I want. They think I'm worth that, and my club don't. Potentially.
We don't
by the way, I don't know that.
We don't know what to be offered. The question is, a comment here from Matthew who says, what's the alternative to not paying Trent at $350 a week, letting a 120 million asset walk for nothing? And I kind of agree, and I get it, completely agree on that, but then Liverpool's point of view might be, or we could pay another right back 150 grand a week and spend that other 200 grand a week on a fall. That's where I'm at with it. I think Liverpool do want to pay him, and I'm sure they want to keep him. I just find the economics of it. There's no
Liverpool are at the table. I think Liverpool are at the table. Liverpool are at the table, by the way.
Liverpool like precedent, don't they? And they've done this all the time. It's like, why do you want 4 million for Nat Phillips? Well, because they sold him to him and he was worth 4 million, and we think Nat Phillips is just as good as him. Liverpool like to use other players and other moves as like their benchmark, and there's no benchmark here. The benchmark,
the club, by the way. Yeah, they get it wrong sometimes.
That's a good point.
We still own Nat Phillips.
Yeah, you're right, and it doesn't always work, but they're stubborn. They're really stubborn.
I get that.
Danny Ward was the best example.
Yeah, they don't waver. That's the thing.
He has to be an outlier in any conversation we have. He has to be an outlier, whether it's positional or money, whatever.
Unfortunately, I agree with you, Dan. I do, but I always try and understand it from the football side.
I get that.
And there is no outliers in a budget. It just doesn't feel
Salah's the outlier in the budget. We broke the wage structure to sign Salah down. Why? Because he scores 30 goals a season, and you need to have someone who scores 30 goals a season if you want to compete at the very top. And that goes back to the point, though, of does Trent warrant it? And I think he's the best right back probably of all time. And and he could retire today and probably still have a body of evidence to put him in that conversation. If he carries on like this, he just will be. It's there's no one who's come close to him in terms of his numbers and everything he's achieved. But again, it comes back to it. Can you pay that to a right back?
Right, just for the removal of doubt, would you pay him 350?
Yes,
I would pay him Well, no, hang on. I want to know how much Real Madrid are offering him, right? Because the point here is, I don't think you can keep him on 350 for the rest of his career, because if 350 becomes 400, becomes 450 becomes 500, and at some point, I would sign him down to a new contract to protect his value, and I would say, here's a 5-year deal or whatever on 350 grand a week, say, but you'd probably look to move him on in a year or two, let him go to Madrid when he's 27, 28, and but the problem is you limit his market when you put him on 350 grand a week. So I'd want to know that Real Madrid, how deep are Real Madrid's pockets when it comes to this, because it's all well and good putting him on 350, but if Madrid were only going to pay him 300 or 325, he's not going to post. Is he going to post better numbers than he's had already? I don't know. I would sign him down to a new contract, if only because I can't countenance a Wales where we let him leave on a free transfer.
Okay. Yes, I think. Yes, it was an absolute yes.
Yes, Chelsea length contract, 350 grand a week. I don't care.
Years.
Yeah, I don't care. Honestly, yeah, you have to. You build your club around someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold, not just what you do in terms of like patterns of play and all that sort of stuff on the pitch. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'll say it again.
Steve?
I don't know.
I would, right? I'm going to ask this question. Do you think Liverpool will pay him 350 grand a week? Actually, stay first.
No.
Dan?
Yes, but I think somebody falls by the wayside out of the other two, Salah and Virgil, because of it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's no world where all three of them get the contracts that they want.